The only reason that I have been able to become a professional videographer is because I found myself a really good mentor. By getting to know somebody who was doing it professionally for a long time before I came around, I was actually able to pick up everything that he knew and put it into my own practice so that I could become successful in doing this whole thing. I have been a professional videographer and photographer since 2019. I managed to monetize my creativity because this mentor that I started to work with instilled within me that I could actually do it. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting together a 9-part series about how to become a professional videographer. So this is part 1, and this part is mentorship. As far as finding a mentor goes, the best thing that you can do is take really good stock of everybody that you know in your hometown, ideally, if you're still living in your hometown. And you want to really listen to your gut if something is telling you that you should be calling a certain photographer or videographer. Because I am both, I'm a photographer and a videographer, I'm going to throw both terms around pretty loosely. However, they're both applicable to the same sort of career trajectory that you want to take and the type of mentor that you want to find. When I started working with my mentor, I had been living in Calgary for a while, and while I was out there, I decided that I wanted to become a photographer. So I had this gut feeling to call this guy Mike, who I knew was a photographer, and he had taken pictures of me when I used to play in a band. So I called him, and he actually answered, and he remembered who I was. And he said that he was doing something really cool back home and to give him a shout if I ever managed to get back that way. 1 year later, I actually did make it back to my hometown, and I gave Mike a call. I went to the studio that he was actually building, and I was able to help him build that studio. And then, without knowing that he was becoming my mentor, that is exactly what was happening. So it's a very loose thing that can happen. It's something that you shouldn't think too hard about. Basically, you're looking for someone who is doing exactly what you want to be doing, and you're asking them to just give you a chance to work with them, and they're not going to pay you. That's what mentorship is. When you think about it with an open mind, it is basically free school. We have to pay for everything in one way or another. The information that I absorbed from Mike was the foundation of the career that I'm enjoying now. In between the day jobs, I would go and I would help Mike at this studio. So it started with helping him build the studio itself, and then it turned into helping him call through photographs from shoots, and then he would bring me onto shoots and I would hold lights. He did a lot of off-camera flash photography, and then he would actually have me do shoots by myself. He started sending me on wedding gigs, and he started paying me eventually. He gave me my first $250 for a shoot that I did for him, and that was the sweetest feeling I ever felt, to have made that money using my camera as a photographer. It was really exciting. So once you found yourself a good opportunity for somebody who might become a really good mentor for you, the best thing that you can do is to call them. Do not text them or email them or message them on Instagram. I would say going and seeing them in person might be a little bit too forward, but do your best to try to find their phone number, give them a call, and just talk to them like a person, be transparent, and tell them that you want to be a photographer or a videographer. See what they say, and if they seem open to you becoming a photographer or a videographer, chances are they'd be happy to teach you. But if they seem standoffish and start to act negative, then it likely means that they have some sort of internal insecure issue where they think if someone else becomes a photographer or videographer, then it would be bad for their career. And of course, that's not going to be a good mentor for you. The best approach that you can take is to make some sort of list, maybe of 5 working professionals who are doing what you want to be doing, and call them. Call all of them and see how they react. And there's going to be one clear winner, and from there you're just going to pitch them the idea that you have in your head, which is, I'm just getting into this, can I come and help you? And that is what you are doing. You are adding value. You don't want to waste their time or take up their time or get in the way of anything that they're doing. Generally, if a creative person loves what they do and they're in the freelance world, then they would be happy to have somebody to come and assist them on a shoot just to learn, or learn a little bit about lighting, or if it's photography, cull through photos, anything that is close to making money doing this thing. Now, once you find that mentor, you need to be a sponge. You need to convince yourself that you know nothing, because in reality, you don't know anything yet. If you are in the position where you're needing someone to teach you how to do it, you need to be humble, and you need to listen, and you need to believe that they are always correct in all of the things that they are teaching you. Now, as this person is mentoring you and teaching you how to do this craft, you need to start to invest in yourself. And you have to do that by whatever means possible. I can't give you financial advice, but I will tell you that I started with one Sony a7 III and a Tamron 28-75 lens. And that was the first piece of gear that I purchased. That got me a pretty long way. And from there, I continued to invest into the gear that I use. I always did it when I knew it was an investment into my business, because I knew that by using that gear, I could make more money and then reinvest it back into the business again. Now, as you start to get close to the end of your mentorship, and you will just start to know when it's fizzling out. I knew that I was getting close to the end of my mentorship because my father was very sick, and my mentor wasn't in a position to pay me regularly what I wanted to be paid, which was no fault of his own. He was very successful at the time, and he still is very successful. But that is a lot of responsibility for somebody to take you on, because remember, this is not an employee situation. You aren't looking for a job. You are looking to learn from somebody so that you can be a creative freelancer yourself. So for me, I started to look at video, and I decided that if I wanted to be successful as a photographer, I needed to learn how to make videos, so then I could sell videos to people. And in selling videos to people, I could also do my photography full-time, which has turned out to be the case. So as you start to move into feeling confident with the skill set that you've built up, you can start to apply the same concept of adding value to starting to work with a few people here and there. And you can look at the community around you, and you can look for opportunities for making videos for people or taking photos for people, because you're in the mentorship phase, you're learning. Once you're pretty close to the end of that section of learning, the next obvious step is to look for people to do things for who are going to find it valuable, who want to give you money. Start to walk that line of continuing to work with the mentor and starting to branch out on your own and do things. Make sure that everything you create, you share it on Instagram. Make sure you start to build out a brand for yourself, and make sure you understand the actual processes that you need to follow to make this a sustainable career. And that about does it, really, in terms of how to find a mentor, what you should expect and what you should be doing while you're working with that mentor, and how to start to move out of the mentorship part of your career. Now, as you move out of that, you are going to get into something I started to touch on in this video, which is getting clients. To be honest, I don't know why I'm doing this in front of the whiteboard, because I haven't really written anything on it. But this has been part one. Part two is going to be getting clients. So I hope, if you had any curiosity around what it means to find a mentor in the creative space, I hope this cleared a few things up. Make sure you subscribe if you want. If you're curious about following along for this 9-part series, the next part is going to be how to get those initial clients for yourself. And yeah, thanks for watching.